Hello student, from today we are going to start with our BSc second year semester 3 unit 2 a volumetric analysis. So here related to the introduction of this volumetric analysis, analytical chemistry is a branch of chemistry which deals with the analysis of substances, which is mainly divided into two main classes: quantitative analysis and qualitative analysis. Now among this, in our syllabus we are first going to see about the quantitative analysis. The name itself suggests the meaning quantitative analysis. Here quantity stand for the amount. The basic principle of quantitative analysis is to determine the amount of a given sample. The basic principle of quantitative analysis is to determine the amount of a given sample. Now, there are many methods for this quantitative analysis, such as volumetric analysis, gravimetric analysis, refractometry, polarimetry, and many more. Among these, today we are going to see about the volumetric analysis and terms involved in volumetric analysis. Now, volumetric analysis, it is a type of quantitative analysis. Again, quantity means amount of the unknown substance present in a given solution. We can calculate with the help of this method, that is volumetric analysis. Volumetric analysis is a quantitative analysis in which volume of known concentration solution. Known concentration solution means the solution whose concentration is to be known, that is we call it as a standard solution. It is required to react with the solution of unknown concentration, that is whose solution is to be determined. So the reaction between the solution whose concentration is to be known with the solution whose concentration is to be determined, this is called as volumetric analysis. It is a quantitative analysis in which volume of known concentration solution, that is a standard solution, required to react with a solution of unknown concentration whose concentration is to be determined. These volumetric reactions are very simple and easy reaction, and within a time we can complete this reaction. So we say that these reactions are very fast and can be done on the side. Again, it is very less expensive reactions and estimation of content or assay of chemical. This method, volumetric analysis, it is a precise and accurate method. So now see, as I have told you that it is a very easy and it is require only few apparatus. So see the apparatus needed for the volumetric analysis. In this diagram you can see the apparatus required for the volumetric analysis. We require one burette, one pipette. Here there is a burette stand, as well as we require one conical flask and measuring cylinder. Now burette, it is a graduated marks are there. It is of 25 ml, 50 ml. So on in this we can mark the solutions in ml, while as pipette also is having a graduation mark of 10 ml. The pipette may be of 10 ml, 25 ml, etc. So in this case there is a marking on this burette and pipette, and hence we can take major quantity with the help of this pipette. We can attach this burette on this burette stand, and we take one solution in it in this conical flask. This is a complete assembly for the titration, that is for volumetric analysis. Then before going to start with the volumetric analysis, let's discuss some terms which we generally use during the study of this volumetric analysis. The first term is titration. Now you might have been gone through the titration in 12th standard. Titration is the process of determining the volume of known strain solution which is required to react with a known volume of unknown strength solution. That is titration. It is a process of reaction between the known concentration solution with the unknown concentration solution. The reaction between these two take place, and with the help of one formula, that is N1V1 equal to N2V2, we can calculate the normality of the unknown solution. Normality stands for concentration of the unknown solution. From this burette, we can add the solution to the conical flask. The reaction between two take place, and we get the concentration of the solution present in a conical flask. Now, the solution which is taken in a burette, it is called as titrant, and the solution taken in a conical flask, it is known as titrate. Titrant and titrate. The reaction between titrant and titrate, it is a titration. The solution which is taken in a burette, it is known as titrant, and the reaction taken in a solution taken in a conical flask, it is known as titrate. Okay. Now, when we add this burette solution, that is titrant, to this conical flask solution which is a titrate, then the reaction between these two take place, and we can observe the completion of reaction by the color change in the conical flask. Some visual changes, it may be color change or it may be some turbidity, etc. So the point at which this color change appear, or we can see some visual, or we can visualize some changes, that point we can measure the quantity of liquid in burette, quantity of solution in burette, and that point we call as a end point. That is the volume at which reaction actually completed by the addition of some stoichiometric amount of titrant is known as equivalence point or theoretical end point. So this is the third term, equivalence point or theoretical end point. The volume at which the reaction actually completed by the addition of stoichiometric amount of the titrant is known as equivalence point or theoretical point. Now moving towards the next term, that is indicator. Now see, in the first diagram there is colorless solution. Now it is a light pink color solution. So this happens because of the presence of indicator. As the reaction ends, comes to the completion, the color, as soon as we add a single drop, the color in conical flask changes because of the presence of one substance which is called as indicator. That is, it indicates the completion of a reaction. A substance which is used for the visual detection of the completion of a particular reaction to determine the end point of a titration is called as indicator. Indicator indicates the completion of the reaction of titration. It is used to determine the end point of a titration. So, a substance which is used for the visual detection of the completion of a particular reaction to determine the end point of a titration is called as indicator. Then the point at which, that is the volume at which the completion of the reaction is observed by using this indicator, that point we called as a end point. That point we called as a end point. This end point we can calculate with the help of this visual observation, which can be in the form of color change, which can be in the form of turbidity formation, etc. Now what happens whenever we are performing an experiment, there may be some mistakes, some precaution we have to take, and if we don't take that precaution, we do not get the accurate value, and some error occur during this experiment. That error, in case of titration, we call as a titration error. What is the actual point of the end point of the titration? It is quite different, and whenever we are performing some experiment, it may be quite different. So there is a difference between these two, particularly we can say the equivalence point and the end point which we can perform, we can get by the experiment. So this difference is called as titration error. In practice, there is a difference between equivalence point and end point. The difference is known as titration error. Now, why this titration error occurs? It generally occurs because of some precaution which we are not going to take during the performance of this experiment. What precaution we have to take during the titration? We should remove the air gap from the burette. See here, there is a marking on the burette, and from the stop cock below also there is a tube. Now the marking is calculated from the lower part of the burette, but we are not removing that air gap. So remove the air gap. It is very essential, otherwise we will not get the exact reading. Again, one more thing, that is we have to remove a large drop from the pipette also. So these are some precautions we have to take, and hence by which we can easily perform accurate performances. Now, requirement of the volumetric analysis. Requirement of the volumetric analysis. The chemical reaction must be simple and takes place quantitatively to form a known product. The reaction shows some marked changes in some properties at equivalence point. It should be stoichiometric. It should be free from the side reaction. That is, the reaction do not take place, side reaction between the titrant from the burette and the solution from the conical flask. It should be specific for the substances to be analyzed. The end point should be well defined and show the visible change, and the reaction should be relatively fast. Generally, these reactions are very fast. This is the advantage of this titration process, volumetric analysis. So the reaction should be fast. Now see the advantages of the volumetric analysis. These analyses require simple apparatus like burette, pipette, conical flask, etc. The analysis process does not involve laborious work. It do not require much more work. Laboratory work is not there. We have to take one small burette, pipette, conical flask, and we can get the result immediately. It can be performed quickly and the results obtained readily. This method is more precise and accurate. Depending upon the nature of the substance to be analyzed, different types of titrometric methods can be used, like acid-base titration, redox titration, precipitation titration. Which substance we want to titrate out, its nature decide the method of this titration. So this is regarding some terms involved in volumetric analysis. In the next lecture, we can also see some more terms which we can generally use in case of this volumetric analysis, like standard solution, primary standard solution, and many more. So for this lecture, you just go through this video, and if you have any difficulty, ask me on the WhatsApp group. Thank you.